Welcome back, everybody, to the XoneBros. This is your positive gaming and Xbox community. It's so good to be back in person. We had last week's episode, but we weren't in person, so it doesn't feel the same. It's not the same.
I forgot my mic.
Oh,
Excuse me.
oh, Spicy forgot his mic. See what I mean? It's not the same. There's these in-person things that happen that they just don't happen remotely. If you're going to start, my advice to you, if you're going to start a podcast in 2025, number one, just know it's going to be really difficult. Like if we were to start a podcast today, like we have thousands of listeners. If we were to start today, we'd have like 10. It's just that difficult because there's a few million podcasts out there.
Yeah.
But if you're going to start one, try to be in person. There is an in-person dynamic. Like think about every big podcast you listen to. The biggest, best podcasts you listen to are all in person.
Yeah.
Because there's in-person communication that just cannot happen in the same way when you're remote. Like busting each other's balls. It's not the same.
Yeah. It's true.
I know it just gets really awkward if you do it over the phone.
Yeah, if you do it over the phone, it's not the same.
Doesn't have the same hit.
The other thing, can I say, I'm just in such a good mood because I'm getting over being sick for like 2-3 straight months, basically.
Yeah.
And get outside and walk, everybody. If you're sitting at home, I work from home. Spicy works from home.
Yeah.
And it gets to you, like it drives you crazy. And if you just go outside and walk 15 minutes, luckily I have a dog that's incredibly athletic, like myself, and needs to move their body and can run 40 miles an hour, like myself.
Well, your dog has to run like 5 hours a day, doesn't it?
Yeah. So it's forced me to walk. And on days being sick, I go 2 weeks, I'm not able to go outside and walk, And when you finally are, you don't realize the fog in your brain until you get out and move your body. Just move your body. 15 minutes. That's it. If you're depressed and you think your life sucks, it probably doesn't. You just got to go outside and walk. Before you play your video game, go outside and walk. That's my advice.
And put your face into the sun for 20 minutes.
Put your face into the sun.
And just stare.
Just
with your
stare.
eyes closed.
With your eyes closed. No, seriously though. Like it's a big thing. Anyways.
My trick is I have a window.
You do have a window. That's nice. Yeah, that's actually scientifically proven. The number one way to improve productivity in an office is more windows, natural light.
What if you had a glass room outside?
That would be cool. Also kind of awkward. Have you seen those glass bathrooms? They're public and they frost up when you close the door.
Really?
I would never use one of those, ever.
Well, yeah.
Because what if it doesn't? Or what if you're in the middle of something?
The one time.
And it unfrosts. It like glitches.
You're walking by and you see a guy sitting on the looking at his phone.
Yeah. Yeah.
Awkward eye contact.
Yeah. Fitzy has a good suggestion. He says, just have kids in sports. You won't have time to sit at home and be depressed. It's true. That is true.
Yeah.
That is true. So, anyways, what are we talking? Oh, Tony Hawk. Tony
What
Hawk.
were we talking about? We're going to talk about.
Yeah, Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3 and
coming
4
out.
being remade from the ground up. 1 and 2 is already available, and I looked 1 and 2. It's available, $20. I think.
Yeah, 1 and 2 is really fun.
I think 2 is the best one of all time out of all 4 of them. So I would definitely go pick that up. But 3 and 4 coming to Game Pass.
Day one, right?
Day 1 Game Pass. It's either July 8th or 11th. I've seen both dates. I don't know why.
I think I saw 11th.
Yeah, I thought it was 11th too, and then I was reading an article and they were like July 8th, and I was like, July 8th?
Maybe there's a early access.
Yeah, there might be. There might be. I don't know. But Tony Hawk, here's the thing. I think, so the Tony Hawk series came to be on the PlayStation 1 with Tony Hawk 1 and 2. And then I think 3 and 4 were on PlayStation 2. But when you look back, and there's going to be a segment here, we're watching the trailer live for those that are listening. They'll do like them back and forth where they show like the original and then they show like what's being remade. If this is that trailer, I'm not sure if it is.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
This is the reveal trailer.
The old polygons. There it is right there. Like it actually holds up not bad, but look at how much better it is. Like there are some games like a Tony Hawk 1 and 2, maybe 3 and 4 is questionable. I'm just happy they're redoing it and I'm very stoked to jump in. But there are games out there like what they're doing with Final Fantasy VII that really don't hold up in that from Nintendo 64 to the PlayStation 2 era because the polygons are just off with our modern eyeballs. Mm-hmm. That you should just take and just redo from the ground up. And I think the Tony Hawk series is perfect for that. Is there any other games, though? Like Final Fantasy VII, perfect for it. Yes,
Yeah.
I don't care that it's the same game. If you
It's not the
completely
same
redo
game.
it,
Same story.
yeah, same story. If you completely redo it from the ground up, bring it to me so that a new generation of people can appreciate it and understand it.
Yeah, I mean, me and Jordan argue about Final Fantasy VII. No, it wasn't that one. It was Resident Evil.
They're doing a great job with Resident
actually, I
Evil.
think they're doing really good with
like
the
Resident Evil 2. I got because I have memories of it when you first play for the first time. That doesn't hold up now.
We just discuss if they should be considered for Game of the Year or not. Because
Well, no, it wasn't that discussion. It's if it's considered a new game or not, which I guess is tied to that.
yeah.
Because
I think it depends how you do it. So would you consider Resident Evil 2 remake not a new game?
No, it's a brand new game.
No, but no. I don't think it should be considered a new game.
It's completely in third person. Like
I don't think it should be up for Game of the Release.
Oh, Game of the
want me
Year.
to
Game
pull
of the
it
Year.
up?
Okay,
I don't
yeah.
think it should
Jordan, you
count.
gave me the point.
Yeah.
Or it should just have its own category. Best remake.
Well, I don't think it should be Game of the Year.
Well, it could be Game
But
of
it is definitely a different game
Than the original.
Than the original, because the original was that still
Second person.
where you
Where
like
there's a
went from
camera
room
up
to
in the
room. Yeah, it's
corner.
like a fixed camera in each picture or each slot of the room. You know,
Yeah, but it was so good, dude.
and
Yeah,
then now
it's the
it's
first game that gave me
now
nightmares.
it's-
Yeah.
It literally gave me nightmares. As a kid.
The first time you play it, you're like, whoa.
Yeah, that gave me nightmares.
Does that
And I
WoW
loved it.
experience? Does that WoW experience exist in 2025 with genres? Like, when's the last time you had a WoW experience?
Well, there are definitely games like the high caliber, phenomenal games. I could tell you several off the top of my head. In Elden Ring, when you go to the optional boss that flies down he surfs a dragon to fight you.
Yeah,
Phenomenal. I would say God of War, when it goes from the opening cuts, like the menu screen, then it goes to him chopping the tree. Then you go and you eventually have one of the coolest boss fights right out of the gate.
Yeah, right out of the gate.
The camera never cuts.
so I would say God of War is probably a better example because that's like the entire game gives you the WoW versus
Yeah.
Elden Ring. Like
No.
that's just a boss fight.
That's just a boss fight.
Yeah. Also, the
You
head developer
never-
of Elden
but
Ring
see,
sucks.
as
Make
some-
a good game, bro.
As somebody who never fought that dragon guy, I can probably see,
No.
you not understanding.
No, but what I'm saying
he
is
surfed
like
on a dragon and started
yeah,
fighting
that's
us.
cool. But what I'm
With
saying,
lightning everywhere.
but what I'm saying is like the entire game of Resident Evil gave you that. I think God of War is probably similar to that. Like from right out the gate, it was like this new, different experience.
I can still, in Elden Ring, I can still remember the moment
Yeah, that's true.
when
yeah.
I went
Out of the
it was in the
cave.
forest.
or even when you come out of the cave and the world opens up to you, that is like a memorable moment.
You go to that little cathedral. Spoiler alert, guys, if you haven't played this, because I mean it's 2 years old plus now. So, and it's actually not related to. It's an optional area, which blows my mind. But you're in the forest area and you see that like circular building, and you go down the elevator and you're like, oh, what's this? And you go down. And it takes 10 minutes to go from where you were at, going down, and then you see the sky of the stars underground and how vast the underground is. That is a holy cow.
that's a wild
There are
moment.
people that play that game that didn't know that area existed.
Yeah, I've never seen it.
You
I've
haven't?
legitimately never seen it.
yeah, it's the underground.
Just go on YouTube and just do Elden Ring
Staircase
reaction.
Underground.
Just underground reaction.
Okay.
And you'll see a whole bunch of streamers just going like, oh my gosh. And it's optional. They put that in the game, something like that.
Yeah, that is cool. That is
So
cool.
I say yeah. There's
So
still
that's on your WoW list.
they still exist 100%. Yeah.
Maybe they're more impactful as a kid, is the difference. Because we're dumb. Because we were dumber.
Well, I think maybe I sucked back then. I thought I was really good. But I'm talking to Jordan, and he's been playing Ninja Gaiden. And I'm like, how long did it take you to beat the first boss? And he's like, oh, I did it first try. And I was like,
Wait, the first Ninja Gaiden or Ninja Gaiden Black?
No, the first one, because I was like, oh, well, they only remade the second one,
Oh, okay.
so I'll play the first one, and then
so, yeah, he's playing the first
Oh,
Ninja
okay.
Gaiden. And that was one of my proudest moments is beating that game. And the first boss was tough.
Well, but
I
here's the
remember it
thing.
being
At
so
the
tough.
time, that might have been tough, but
Yeah, I know
we've all evolved, right?
but you know, I think they dumbed down the boss. I want to look at old footage.
For instance, I would be curious.
Jordan beat it first try, and it's like, oh, maybe it wasn't as hard as I thought it was.
maybe you're doing something wrong.
Yeah.
Well, no, but I would be curious, like even sports games. So sports games iterate year after year. So you, or even Call of Duties do that too. But sports games specifically, year after year. So you don't really notice, like 10 years in, you don't realize how much it's evolved. If you were to go back, let's say 10 years in Madden, and you're crushing Madden now, you go back. Are you as good or are you better at the old Madden? I would imagine you're better because it's less complicated. It's simplified.
Then the new Madden?
Than the new Madden, yeah. And you can like extrapolate that out through all games. Like Ninja Gaiden, what was hard, it was a simple version of what is hard today. Like it's probably still incredibly difficult, but compared to like the complicated systems that exist today, it might not hold up as difficulty.
Maybe. I just think Jordan has now gone through all the Dark Souls and stuff like that.
Yeah, Jordan's gone through God. Jordan is in God mode a stage of his life.
I know. And he's got a really badass TV, so
yeah,
that's
that TV is probably the difference maker.
You know what? It's the TV.
It's the TV. Yeah. That's the difference maker right there. No, but Jordan, any games that you think that you want to see redone like Tony? Here's the thing. These games are so good, the internet was on fire with this news this week.
Yeah. With Tony Hawk?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is insane to think about. Like, what games is there a generation of kids missing out on that we experienced in their prime that should be remade? I got one. I think the entire Halo series, it's not been remade. It's in a Master Chief collection, but it's not been remade. And I think remaking.
I mean, they kind of had the anniversary.
Because who pointed this out to me, and I never realized it until it was Barbara Blake who co-hosted on the show. He was like, I mean, it's okay, but it's because it is a nostalgia effect for us because we experienced it when that was the prime, when it blew our minds.
Yeah.
Like, so update it and bring it back to that level. To do that, Gears is another one. Every single one should be remade from the ground up.
Yeah, I think so. That'd be really fun. Especially now that the new one's been delayed to next year.
Yeah, until 2026.
Well, and
the collection is coming.
People don't experience the hype beforehand these games
had.
You remember the commercial for Gears, the first commercial? All around me are familiar faces. You know that song?
Yeah.
And then it's like all silent.
That was when,
and he's shooting the
dude.
And you're like, damn, I'm getting that box.
Here's the thing. So, yes, 360 era, look at that marketing. I would argue that where Xbox has really messed up is not even in the games that have come out, because like Halo Infinite is a 9 out of 10 game campaign-wise. Yeah. They do not have the same marketing. They don't have the same young, let's take chances, Sega Genesis, going against the man type of marketing that Gears had. Name the last time a game was marketed from Xbox first-party studios, from Microsoft, in that is that memorable.
Doom.
No.
Other than Doom, everything
Halo
else.
3.
Other than Doom, everything else.
Again, Xbox 360 era that they absolutely crushed it with. It's marketing. Like PlayStation has a better marketing team.
See, Doom.
Doom, the new Doom. Have you read the trailer, the music? The new Doom. Doom is the only game that hasn't been marketed towards furries in like the past. I think it's like 3 or 4 years. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's funny. Well, because the whole game itself is
it's anti-furry. Yeah, which is why I think like a lot of people are excited.
It's like hardcore 40-year-old dudes in their basement listening to Tool.
Yeah, and you're just like, oh, like you're going. It brings you back, you know. It's like,
well, yeah, Doom soundtrack, yeah.
Beast, who dropped a super chat to Tier 5 Master Chief for 56 months. Beast, Eternal Darkness on GameCube. That was a WoW game. I actually don't remember Eternal Darkness.
Well,
Sandy's Requiem.
I think maybe.
Oh, I actually do remember this game. I think we actually had this game, Jordan.
Wait, what
Dude,
are you talking
GameCube
about?
was such a
Dude, GameCube
I
was
hate when I
fire
You guys
console.
are cruising through so many subjects. Where are we at now?
this is Seinfeld, baby. You got to keep up.
I was still thinking of Doom. Where are we at now?
Now we're on Eternal Darkness
for the GameCube. Dude,
Sanity's
the GameCube
Requiem.
they should just remaster the GameCube.
Well, for that matter,
They
I would
should.
say any Nintendo system prior to 2005.
But bring back the mini discs, dude.
Yeah.
Those are awesome. Why did nobody else use those?
Storage
Because
limitations.
Sony had its own version of it. Sony had a freaking cool that I still have, actually, like Walkman thing with like mini discs. It was awesome. It had the cool factor.
Well, didn't they use the UMD for their? It was like the Universal Media Device for the PSP,
Oh, I don't know.
and it was like a disc covered in a
Oh.
case.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
They should remaster the PSP. That was a fun little device.
Anyway, yeah, they could remaster. Spice, any games you think should be remastered?
Oh, lots of games should be remastered that people don't even know exist anymore. Lots. Rock and Roll Racing. Come on, Blizzard.
Didn't they do that in the Blizzard?
Well,
collection?
see, I don't know that. I don't know that every
they-
game should be remastered though, because a racing game, like, what's harder? So, for instance, I think a Tony Hawk 1 remastered fits.
Didn't they just release it? Like it was just released in a package.
They did like all their old games. They,
Yeah.
like,
What was that?
remastered.
Sorry.
So remastered though is like bringing it up to modern standards.
You're talking like a remake.
Yeah, remake. Yeah, not remastered.
So like a
sorry.
Final Fantasy
like
VII? Yeah.
what Tony Hawk is doing. That like exactly that. And I don't think it works for every game. For instance, like even I think it would be worth it for them to go through and redo Halo, but it wouldn't be as effective redoing Halo as redoing, or for instance, if you redid GoldenEye, because shooters have evolved so much, it would be a pretty generic shooter at this point.
But you're talking a remake, which they essentially just copy the story. Like Final Fantasy VII, nowhere close to the same engine or anything. It's the story, and so you could
And
really
even the stories.
Well, that's-
altered
and the
a bit.
story. Well, and it's okay, yeah, with caveats, okay,
Yeah.
because Final Fantasy VII's story is
They
manipulated
invented
in
their
the
own
lore,
timeline. Yeah.
in the lore itself. So any game with a good story, you could totally remake however you'd like. I mean, I'd love to see.
I really like what they're doing with the Resident Evil games. I hope they
Yeah,
continue
genius.
on to Resident Evil 5, because Resident Evil 5, I know a lot of people didn't care for it, but I liked the co-op aspect of it when it came
It's
back
genius.
out, when it came out way back when on the 360.
It is. It's a genius move, I think, but I don't think it fits every game. For instance, racing games, I don't think. Like,
Wouldn't you love to have Burnout Paradise in
I don't
this
think-
generation?
no, I don't think Burnout Paradise competes with a Forza Horizon. Even if you I think if you to redo Burnout Paradise in this generation, all you give me is Forza Horizon, and Forza Horizon
No.
has perfected it.
No, Burnout Paradise wasn't for pussies. Burnout Paradise was the real deal. And not to have anything against for Forza Horizon, but Forza Horizon, I literally can put it on easy mode and put my controller down, and it still gives me points in races.
That camera feature on Burnout Paradise was pretty
You definitely could. You could only do. There's only one point in history where you could have a game take a snapshot of people on camera.
Yeah.
And that was at the birth of the internet and multiplayer gaming
Yeah.
for a hot second that could happen, because
Now you'd
in
have
2025, no way you could allow
you'd
that.
have too many weird furries taking weird pictures and ruining it for everybody. Because let's be honest, it's going to be them.
Be like OnlyFans mode.
Like Forza Horizon is there to appease to everybody. Like that, that's what they're trying to do. It's a great game. I love that game, but Burnout Paradise wasn't.
Yeah, but I don't think there's certain genre. The reason that Tony Hawk can is because there's no other skating games skating games have not evolved. This is the prime of those, so it works.
Yeah, well,
Final Fantasy, like you said, works as a redo because you're redoing the story and upgrading it to upgrading the gameplay to modern mechanics. Racing games and shooters would be the hardest to do because it would be more generic.
Not necessarily. I mean, it all depends. If you're talking about a remaster, yeah, I agree. A remake,
No, a remake though.
you just have
A remake,
It's just a story.
but racing games like are not really story based.
I know.
I don't know. Like, speaking of racing games, I'd like to see the Midnight Club games come back. Those were fun.
Yeah, those are fun.
Yeah, those are great.
Those are fun. But also, Forza would just destroy them anyways.
I disagree. It's a different vibe.
No, if you have two girls in a room,
Where are we going with this?
6'2", athletic, smart volleyball girl, super smoking hot, standing next to a slightly overweight,
Furry.
plastic surgery.
Are you okay?
remaster,
Which one's which?
Remaster.
You're saying Forza's
is the
Amazonian
supermodel.
female?
Yeah, Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman is Forza. You're not going to be Wonder Woman.
And Burnout Paradise is what? Squirrel Girl?
Wonder Woman Light.
I thought Wonder Woman Heavy is what you did.
I'm listening. Say it slower, David. Go on. Wait, we do have some shout outs here from Super Chats. Reactor Leak dropped $4.99. Huge shout out to Reactor Leak. Thank you very much for the Super Chat. We also had Super Shocker who dropped 5 XoneBros memberships. Thank you very much, Super Shocker. Everybody, drop some BFF hearts if you were one of the recipients of a free gift. Super Shocker drops another $6.69 right now. He says, old guy check here. Is it possible that Tony Hawk was the one and only skater that people know? He's definitely the most famous of all time.
Probably that's
To the
famous because of skating.
To the general public.
Yeah.
Like everyone knows Tony Hawk is a skater.
Yeah. Although, who's the guy that did Jason Lee? Jason Lee's really famous. He's the guy who did My Name is Earl.
He sounds like Tony Hawk Light.
No, he's in lots of movies. And he's a skater, and he's a dang good skater in movies.
See, if
and
you were
everything.
like, hey, do you know who Jason Lee is? Most people would be like, Bruce Lee's son.
He was in Chipmunks.
But everybody,
Come on.
He was.
but everybody's like, Tony Hawk. Yeah, I know that dude.
I don't know. I mean, yeah, as a skater, yeah. Oh, but a lot of people don't know that Jason Lee was like extremely good at skating, like pro skater level. See, and you're obviously with that weird nod and looking at me like this guy's an idiot. You disagree, but yeah, I get it.
No, it's more of a smug. I told you so. That's
No,
what that look is.
you said give you like who, and so I'm trying to give you who. Who else became famous from skating?
Yeah, but I think what we're trying to say is
Saturday
like,
Night Live.
if you took a room of 100 people and said, hey, who knows Tony Hawk? 99 of them would raise their hand. And if you said, hey, who knows Jason Lee? 40 of them would raise their hand.
Or like Chad is saying, they would say, is that dude in the movies?
Yeah. You know, like Tony Hawk is
Versus
just
Tony Hawk is the skater.
It's a well-known name, you know.
And I would argue any other
Which is
skaters
why-
that are really famous, we
Isn't
know.
David Spade? I think he got his first movie. He was like a double and a skater or something like that.
I mean, he was in Wayne's World.
No, that wasn't David Spade, was it? That's
that's Dana Carvey.
Yeah, Dana Carvey. I'm not talking about Dana Carvey. Man, it's been a while since my skater days, David. Trying to remember.
Yeah, I would argue that anyone else that you do know,
That was Police Academy. Okay, Spade wasn't a skater, but he was in Police Academy 4. Okay,
anyone
that's
else
right.
that you do know, I would argue you probably know be from Tony Hawk video games. Like that's the.
Well, I listened to Tony Hawk's podcast, and it's really fascinating. And
What does he talk about?
skating.
Skating.
He has a lot of people on with skating. It's pretty good. Jordan's looking at his watch. What time is it?
No, someone just called me.
We're 20 minutes in, man. No, I would say probably Jason Lee's the next most famous person. And
Anyways.
apparently that's not even a contender to you.
Oh no! As
Well,
far as
I don't know,
skaters.
because like, what about like Bob Burdquist and Nia Houston and stuff?
Again, and I would argue all those people you know because they were the other guys you could play in Tony Hawk. You know what I mean?
I'm trying. You gave me the challenge, and I guess I failed.
That was honorable.
I'm doing my best.
Did you get a haircut, by the way?
Yeah, I got it last week
Wow, looks
with
good.
my son.
Oh yeah, very good.
Yeah, he's now potty trained.
Nailed it.
Yeah, that we're now working on aiming.
You never quite. You have a boy. Never will quite get unless he sits down. You're never gonna
Holy cow.
never gonna
Just
get there.
one flick of the wrist is
When
all
my
it
ne-
takes
when
to
my-
hit
yeah.
that bathroom so
When my
hard.
nephews come over to my house, I am like, every time I watch them go to the bathroom, I just think, shit. Because you're going to have to clean it up afterwards. Like, I don't understand. I as a kid, I never missed. I was proud of myself.
It was a different time, man.
I was proud.
You could do
distance.
you could do the Cheerio trick.
So what I ended up doing, you can go check it out in my bathroom. I got a urinal, like a toy urinal. It's a frog, and it has a little spinner in the middle, and you just hang it on the wall. When he's done, you just pour it in the toilet. But if he aims for the little spinner, the tongue of the frog, it spins, and he loves it.
And there's no splatter?
No, there's as much splatter as there is in a urinal, and 3-year-olds do not have a lot of PSI.
Oh, yeah, I know. My problem, I got to try to lower that. How do you lower that? Puncture it somewhere?
In your old age, it gets worse and worse.
Yeah, what the heck?
Yeah, and don't make a sound when he's peeing, because then he'll be like, huh? And that one just 60-degree turn, it's
like,
game over.
And you're like, oh, all over the wall.
Yeah.
Toxic butt wind. I've been waiting 10 years for my kid to aim right. Yeah, it never happens with boys, dude.
So my theory on getting this, it was like a $10 urinal from Amazon. And I actually got another one for my mother-in-law. But my theory is...
Well, you got one for your mother-in-law?
No, because she watches them sometimes.
This is an awkward conversation. How does she use it?
Oh, man. No, I figure this is like a lifelong investment for not only myself and my child, but for all of his friends and his friends' parents going forward for the rest of his life.
Hey, have you used it? Be honest. Be real.
I haven't used it. It's too small. You'll go see it. It's a 3-year. It's like 19 inches tall.
Oh, okay,
it's
okay.
very small. But yeah, I'm trying to make it so he gets good at aiming, because dang, it is the
terrible.
worst. And you're like, you're doing great. You're doing great. All right.
That's why
right up the wall.
So at our house, we have the kids' bathroom, and then we have just off the living room, we have like a half bath. The kids are not allowed to use that because
That's the guests.
Yeah, because when people come over, I do not want to have to clean up beforehand because it's terrible, dude. I do have cleaners though that come every other week. It's been a lifesaver for me. It's changed everything. I love it.
Okay, so Super Shocker says he has him sit. So that he originally was trained on sitting. That's like phase 1.
Yeah.
Phase 2 is now stand up and aim.
Yeah.
I had an incident where we were out and he had to use the restroom, and I took him into the restroom and he sat down, and I was like, I don't know if I should get this graphic, but I was like,
you had to you slipped into the toilet, the public toilet.
No, I checked everything. Okay, you're good to go. Go for it. Thumbs up. And somehow it was like the Seinfeld episode where there was a different loogie shooter, because there must have been a different spitter.
Yeah.
Because he was aiming correctly, but somehow it went around his leg and down his pants and got all his pants. And I was so confused, and it hurt my feelings because it was on my watch.
It hurt my feelings.
It was on my watch that the pants were just destroyed. And you can't, and you did great, buddy.
But
I don't know.
at public bathrooms, the little kid urinals are did they not have one of those? Those ones are the best. This
was during phase 1.
Oh, phase 1.
He hasn't even. Yeah, at that point, he hadn't learned how to.
The thing about
be
public
a man.
restrooms in phase 1, the slippage. You got to watch your kid not to slip inside of that toilet.
Oh man, but thank goodness that's a big step in my kid's life. Is potty trained. We're good.
Gears. Shall we pull up? Let's pull up a Gears trailer. So a few things dropped for Gears this week. Gears 6 with Gears E-Day. Rumor is that it's being pushed back to 2026. Frankly, my
Did they not officially announce it? It's just a rumor? Still?
Just a rumor.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, yeah. I thought.
The other part of that rumor is that we are indeed getting Gears Collection this year. Now, that's why this rumor makes sense to me. So Gears Collections incoming, dropping day 1 everywhere. Makes total sense. 1,000% for both of those things. The reason I think it makes sense.
Are they gonna update it at all or no?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if that collection. So I imagine it's gonna be like the Halo Master Chief collection, because what Gears does have a remaster already. It's Gears
first
1,
yeah.
the original one. It's like the Ultimate something, right?
Yeah.
I think Gears
Then
single
they just
one.
bring 2 and 3 to that.
I think every single one should be completely remade.
Yeah.
And bring them up to whatever engine you're using for E-Day, irregardless.
Unreal, I think.
Yeah, irregardless. it makes sense. Drop it everywhere. You're going to have PlayStation players playing it for their first time with this Gears collection. And the reason, and you might be thinking to yourself, why does that work? This multi-platform strategy, it doesn't make sense. No. You drop the collection, then you get a bunch of hardcore new fans, and then you announce Gears 6 release date, day one, Game Pass. Remember, it's going to be a timed exclusive if it does go multi-platform, but it's for sure coming day one for at least 6 months to a year on Game Pass. And guess what? You now have a whole bunch of fans who you can draw from to come and subscribe to Game Pass. You can see how over time this sequence happening, it's going to be very hard to compete with and stop. But very excited for the Gears collection. Jordan, thoughts?
I'm excited for it too. I'll go through it. That's just a fun co-op game.
Yeah. Yeah, that's so here's the other thing though. Rumor is that maybe no multiplayer in the collection.
You'd have
you'd have to have co-op. You're talking probably
it's probably PvP. Let me see if I can bring it up.
I saw a thing
PvP. Now suggesting PvP could be skipped entirely.
Yeah, because the game is built to be co-op. Like that's I think why it was made.
I would argue that the biggest following that Gears has is a PvP following.
Probably. Your hardcores are there for sure. Like your hardcore fan
That's
base.
an interesting move if that is true.
Well, maybe it's because they have 4. Maybe they'll tie it into 4 somehow or 5, whatever the newest multiplayer is, which is Gears 5, I think.
Yeah.
Okay.
Halo Master Chief Collection is fantastic. We all went through the Halos, all the Halo games in that way. I do think having them as remakes, though, for Gears, even over Halo, makes sense because there's no Space Marine. Maybe is the only game that competes with Gears, and look how well it did. And I would say it's like a 2.5 level game compared to what Gears should be, which is a AAA title.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Space Marine was excellent.
I actually think, if done correctly, Gears could be the new marquee title. Because Gears, yes, it was big on the 360. It really helped put Xbox on the map, but it was still always Halo. Halo is Xbox. I think if you do it correctly, Gears has an opportunity to be that marquee title for Xbox. It doesn't have the dings against it that a Halo does, primarily because you didn't do a dumb TV show with it. Although they are doing a Gears television series, so we'll find out.
4 and 5 weren't like... They weren't terrible, but they weren't like
but
critically acclaimed.
But also the thing that Halo suffers from that makes Halo difficult is there's so many really good shooters out there in the genre. You're competing in a already crowded genre.
Yeah, whereas
to be the best. Whereas Gears is still shooters. Yeah. Gears still is unique.
Yeah.
And Space Marine proved that people just want big men shooting hordes of aliens in third person behind cover. Yeah. And nobody does it better than Gears.
I don't think you can have a title like that be the new marquee IP without PvP, though. I think you need PvP.
Well, no. Well, yeah, in Gears 6, it's coming.
In E-Day.
Just the collector's thing. It's probably
remastered
not.
collection edition.
Okay.
Yeah. But do you think it could take over, Spicy? Do you think it could take the throne? And okay, first we got to establish the premise. Is Halo still considered the marquee title for Xbox? No. What do you think is?
It's not Halo. They've.
I would say Game Pass.
That's solid. It's solid.
I would say that's. Now that the idea of exclusives to Xbox are now going to eventually, over 4 or 5 years span, move over to other platforms, I think you're losing the power of the Xbox exclusives. And I would say Game Pass is the reason you get an Xbox now, not necessarily games. Which is, I think that's what they. That's what they want.
I would say Game Pass is the new Xbox. But what makes But what is going to be the title? Is there going to be a title that makes you think?
But see, that's
I need to get this for Game Pass / Xbox.
That's the traditional way of selling consoles is exclusives. And that Sony still does that. Obviously, Nintendo does that too. But Xbox is moving away from that idea, and they're pushing into new ground with Game Pass. And I think Game Pass is the exclusivity to Xbox. And you'll get these games day one, but those games will eventually go to, other platforms. And I think that's a turnoff for a lot of people. However, being able to play it day one for free, quote unquote, for free, is what drives you to have Xbox hardware.
Okay, let me rephrase the question because I think you're right. I think you're right on that. What game is the marquee title that becomes synonymous with Xbox? That remains like when you think of like right now, I think it still is Halo. Actually, I would disagree with Jordan that when you think of Halo, you think Xbox. I'm not quite sure, even though it
doesn't have the power it used to have.
I agree, but that's why Xbox hasn't succeeded like it did during the 360 days, because that marquee title that they put forward has been scuffed.
Yeah,
doesn't quite have the shine, and that's where I'm saying I think Gears, if done correctly, there's an opportunity now for it to become synonymous with Game Pass and Xbox. Like for it to be like when you think Netflix, because Netflix is the same model as Game Pass. You think like Stranger Things, I would say probably is that marquee title. When you think HBO Max, it's Game of Thrones. What is the next? Is it going to be? Maybe it is Halo. Maybe it retains as Halo. But I think Gears could be it. Because it's not in a crowded genre. And it doesn't quite have the scuffs that Halo has, I think, at this point.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It also could be Fable, though. If Fable's done correctly.
I don't think it's Fable, just because of the market space for Fable. You have far less people playing Fable than other genres.
Then I would say both Gears and.
I mean, could it be a Bethesda game that comes up? A new Elder Scroll,
Elder Scrolls 6,
a Fallout, a new Fallout. I mean,
Fallout's doing really well now. I mean, look what the show did. The show did well, and all Fallout media went up.
And do you think? I mean, in fairness, maybe it's none of those? Maybe it's Call of Duty.
Yeah, that's right. I don't know if Microsoft. I think they make more money with that game multi-platform and having it available on Game Pass day one than if they were to turn the switch and make that exclusive. And it's all a money game. That's why they make all the choices that they make.
Yeah, no, Call of Duty, but it is on game. It is as part of Game Pass. So yeah, for that reason, I don't think it ever could be. I think you're right. It ever could be like the marquee title for them.
I'd like to say that Fable has that kind of space to pull in that, but I don't think it does. I don't think fantasy games in general have that, unless it's a 10 out of 10.
Yeah, like
no mistakes.
Skyrim level.
Baldur's Gate, Skyrim,
Elden Ring. A no mistake game, just a phenomenal. That's the only way, and those are rare and difficult to achieve.
Yeah, so CDR2 Vox says no God of War equivalent yet on the X. Super Shocker says, fun fact, Warhammer Space Marine 2 is in the shop with a price tag of $69, baby. Yeah.
Yeah, I think, speaking of Super Shocker, he says it might be Gears. I think you're right. Gears has as far as a game that touches the most market, available players,
Yeah.
Gears is the least damaged.
Yeah, that's exactly. And I think if you can knock it out of the park.
If you keep coming in with these like heavy, what do you want to call them? Like Doom does this really well, but like these heavy vibes of like humanity's last hope, two brothers, or they're not. Well, they are brothers, basically, not biologically, but
yeah,
through
war,
grit and pain,
yeah,
through blood,
through life and death.
Yes.
I know those are just like good stories that people can relate to, People are like, I think Doom does a really good job of when they show their trailers, they appeal to a certain market.
Yeah, and I think Gears
needs to appeal to that certain market.
Well, and I think E-Day is smart because I think a prequel is way easier to do.
But the thing I remember
a sequel
is these are not the people that made 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah, that's extremely valid. That's a valid point.
Is the person in charge? Who's in charge of Gears?
I don't know, but part of me wants them.
What's his name? Ron Ferguson?
No, he's over at Diablo now. And yes, he was a part of some of the original stuff, but I know people have their different opinions on him. But Cliff Bleszinski made good Gears games, so maybe we should chat with him.
Yeah,
about the next Gears game.
Well, I mean, that is a really good point. For instance, we think of BioWare. This was a discussion that was happening on Twitter, like BioWare. Oh man, or think of. In fact, it came out as a result of Avowed. And Avowed, some people really like it, some people think it's mediocre. But Obsidian, guys, all the people that made Fallout New Vegas, they're no longer a part of Obsidian. So is it appropriate? Does it make sense to hold them to that standard? Because like nobody says, oh, that's a WB movie. They say, oh, Christopher Nolan directed that movie. Dennis Villanueva directed that movie. I need to go see it because I love his movies. Yeah. No one says, oh, MGM made this movie. I got to go see it. The only one actually that has that kind of brand sticking power is Disney.
Disney and Marvel, maybe.
Yeah, but Disney freaking hired Kathleen Kennedy, destroyed, tanked.
She did a really good job if that was her goal. Yeah, because I have no desire.
The big news, they fired her. She's gone. So what I would do, Disney, if you're listening to me, just don't do anything Star Wars. Just give it 2 years. All you need is 2 years. And then bring in someone serious and
have consultants
and
that live in their parents' basement.
Yeah. Yeah. Any of these two guys,
they'll help you with the storyline.
Put them on the payroll. They would be able to help you make. But I would, in order to revamp Star Wars, I think what you do is you pull back and you wait 2 years, and then whatever you come out with, you say to yourself, is this the greatest sci-fi movie of all time that we're making? And if the answer to that is no, you don't make it. Like, it has to be that level. Because the problem is you have sci-fi movies coming out and television shows that are doing that. Dune, for instance. Dune 1 and 2 together as a movie is a masterpiece that no modern Star Wars has even got close to touching. Any of them.
Yeah.
Zero.
Oh, 100%. Well, I mean, Dune is like the sci-fi version of what the Lord of the Rings
The Foundation on Apple TV is better than almost every Star Wars series that have come out in the last 5 years.
Yeah.
Dawn, Dusk, and have you guys watched Foundation?
I've watched the first episode.
No. Oh, it's really good.
Yeah, it is.
It's a really good
first episode was good.
Are you guys all caught up on Severance, by the way?
No.
Just today's episode.
No, I'm not.
Oh, today's the only today. Okay, for the record, we had this discussion. What's the nickname for James on this show? What do they call him? Brian?
Jim or something?
Jim. Yeah. That's
Jim.
my brother, everybody.
Yeah. We had this discussion before the show, and we actually sent him a...
He sent a video back. I'm excited to watch it after the show.
Week-to-week show. There's only one week-to-week show that I will watch right now, and that is Severance, because I am hooked, but it is not as good as watching them back-to-back. Because a week goes by, it doesn't have the same... Like, when you're watching them back-to-back... When there's a filler episode, you don't really notice it because you're on to the next episode and you're like, yeah, now it's getting good. So you can put up with the filler episodes. When you're watching week to week, filler episodes freaking suck, dude, and piss me off. Like, you just wasted my time for this week. Now I got to wait another week to see if it gets good again, to see you actually make movement here. And when you binge watch... You can put up with filler episodes, or maybe. And when I say filler episodes, a filler episode could be an episode where like one thing is really important that you have to go discover, but it's not pushing forward the main story necessarily. And you're like, oh, I just want to move on this main thing. So when you're binge watching, you can put up with filler episodes, but when you're watching week to week, those filler episodes freaking crush you.
If you want to know what a filler episode is, just go watch The Mandalorian. It'll give you a really good idea.
Well, I would argue that
shots fired right there.
I actually think it's more harmful to your show to release it week to week because
I get why they do it. I get why
they do it too. But by the time you like in a binge watching scenario, like let's say you watch 2 episodes a night for a week, you get to experience the entire story as it was intended, all in 1 week, right?
Yeah.
Whereas by the time we get to week 11, you've already forgotten half the stuff that happened in week 1.
You can't tie back. You're not good at tying stuff back together. It misses the feel.
I think from a storytelling perspective, it does. Also, I hate it. Like I already pay you guys enough money a month. Just let me watch.
Oh, and how about everybody going to commercial? Like,
streaming is just becoming cable TV all over again.
It's all cable, and I'm paying more for it than I ever paid for cable.
Yeah, it sucks.
You have to pay for the premium ad-free.
Premium ad-free. Yeah, and everyone's like, well, it's only 3 30-second commercials. Yeah, how long does that last till? How long until we're getting back to...
So if you have 3 30-second commercials and then you have like
breaks
4
now,
of those.
4 of them, yeah. How long till we get back to that, assholes? That's right.
Yeah, commercials are terrible.
Spicy, I feel like you wanted to say something.
No, yeah, I agree. I'm paying like $17 to Hulu now, and I'm getting commercials. What the hell's that about?
We have a system in my house. We only are allowed to have one at a time.
Oh, so you just right now it's Apple TV.
Right now it's Apple TV because of Severance. It really is Apple TV.
That's a good rule.
Severance, yeah. So and then you just switch because you can binge watch. Here's the thing. Well, the exception there is Amazon Prime because I just have Amazon Prime. Like and Amazon Prime is the one I'm really complaining about the commercials because.
Oh yeah, that's stupid. But at the same time,
because Jack Reacher's
I have
back,
it
baby.
anyways. Yeah.
Can I say something?
Can I say?
Yeah.
I was thinking about this. I don't know.
Jack Reacher?
I was thinking about
Okay.
Jack Reacher.
The current version,
The mammoth.
for the record, you love, right?
Yes.
Like you think it's an accurate representation of the books.
It's yes.
Okay,
And
I
they're
love
actually,
too. I love
and they're
too.
actually telling
because I think that's what I would look like if I was jacked. Really, look at his face. He looks like me. He's like Jack David.
Yeah. So, like you read the books and he's cocky, he's smart, and he's ripped. And he even tells he like in his head, he's like, there are probably 9 people in the world that can take me. You're not one of them. You know, he's huge.
Yeah.
He's just a man's man, alpha as can be.
Yeah.
No, I was thinking about that actor. If they were to ever make like Doom the Slayer,
You think he would be?
He would be.
He's better than The Rock.
Oh, yeah. He
Wasn't The
had-
Rock
Or
a Doom guy?
even like a Master Chief because he's got like the height and build.
So I was thinking Doom or Wolfenstein. Him being the main characters of that story arc or that storyline.
Wolfenstein would be
Wolfenstein,
good.
like, was it Baranowski?
He's
No,
like-
BJ
he's-
Blazkowicz.
Blazkowicz. Yeah, thank you. I
Or
was one
like-
of those B words.
Or like a Duke Nukem.
yeah, dude.
Yeah,
he's
right. Yeah, that's right.
I'm thinking like all the things that he could do and make me smile. Yeah.
Yeah. No, really, reactor. Like I challenge you. Go watch Jack Reacher. Look at his face. Look at my face, and then just picture me with that body. And it's the same. He's me. He's me jacked. He's jacked me.
Okay.
So I've been telling my wife, hey, just so you know,
Just picture me with this body and we'll be good.
just so you know, I'm totally serious here. By the way, if she gave me the okay, I would take whatever concoction he's taking of steroids and HGH, which he does, which nothing wrong with that. It's not a critique. That's just what you got to do
to get that big.
to get like that.
become Jack?
I would take his exact dosage to do it. But she tells me no. But that's a lie. I think she's a liar.
If those are the results,
If that's the result, yeah. If she's a liar because she's thinking, oh, there's all this, deteriorous health issues that you could have. No.
but if you look like that for 5 years, she'd be smiling.
Yeah, no. Let me tell you. First of all, you do it responsibly. You make sure you're seeing a doctor. You just say, hey, give me the Jack Reacher concoction. Okay? Whatever
cocktail.
it takes.
I'll take the number 7 Jack Reacher.
Yeah, and I will work out like a beast 3 hours a day to know that at the end of 3 years, I look like that. Yeah.
I mean, he also has a team that is paid to be around him and make sure he does that, right? Like,
Yeah. But that's what I'm saying. I would pay for that. I think that's valuable. I would totally pay.
I think a TV show pays for it, though, right?
Yeah. Who is there any? If there's any VC investors out there listening to this show, and you want to experiment, pay for me to become Jack Reacher. All right, I will do it and document it all while on.
Well, good job on documenting it.
Yeah,
That's
I'll
good.
document it.
Yeah.
No, dude. And my wife's a liar. You know. Come on, dude. If you don't want me to look like that? You're happy with this?
You're happy with this?
You're happy with breasts? What are you, a lesbian? Yeah, you little liar. Don't lie to me. I mean that in a joking way. I better not calling my wife a liar, but I know she's lying about that.
Did she watch the show?
No, she used to. Back when she was trying to, impress me. You reach that stage.
But she will try to impress you if you become Jack.
Yeah, that's why I got to become Jack Reacher again. Right?
Again? Wait, you think you were that before?
Oh, I was not Jack Reacher, but I was,
You're more like a
I was
Tom Cruise.
I was
Jack Reacher, yeah, Tom Cruise.
Tom Cruise.
I was,
Who
I
was
was
also
Brad, I
pretty
was Brad
fit
Pitt
for his
status.
age.
I used to be Brad Pitt status at one point in my life. Yeah.
Were you Troy or pre-Troy? You were pre-Troy.
No, I was more like a river runs through it.
Okay, I can see that. Okay, that's fair.
Yeah. Yeah. See. fun, attractive.
Cool world, Brad Pitt.
Yeah, you know. What else?
Yeah, that's
Anyways.
good.
All right. Well, that does us for this week, I guess.
we
I
gotta-
think we got to go. We've got
have
an
to
appointment to be at. Apologies, everybody. Thank you for tuning in. Hopefully, you enjoyed that. Anybody, by the way, send it to me. DM me on Discord if you know Jack Reacher's concoction. I know he's talked about it publicly.
Well,
And
then
it
why
said-
don't you just ask AI if it's common knowledge? It'll tell you. It'll tell you what to do.
No, that's true. That's true. Okay. Yeah, but do I trust AI? Sometimes it lies to
No, you do. I know you trust AI.
you. Yeah, but sometimes it does lie to
it
you.
lies. It'll make anything up for you just to please you.
Yeah, it will. It will. That's why I love it. That's why I love it. Have a good week, everybody. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
So hard to find the good days.